everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the Neverland Studio Calico kit, and I'm just showing you some of the stuff that I'm going to be using. A lot of it is from this month's kit, but again I did pull in a lot of stuff from my stash. And I'm going to be using those two papers, and the brown polka dot is from Crate Paper Party Day, and the chevron is from Dear Lizzie Lucky Charm. And I decided on using a vertical and a horizontal photo, and then when I thought of it, I thought that I would center it on that brown polka dot paper so that there would be a full polka dot on each side of the photo, if that makes any sense. And then at the bottom, right underneath the horizontal photo, is where I'm going to put my title. But at this point, I think I'm going to put the journaling there. And I'm looking for some journaling paper at this point, but there was none that really coordinated with this paper. Most of it was orange and blue, and there was none that were a brown, so I decided to use just plain old vanilla cardstock, and I'm just gonna cut it down so that it fits sort of as a little square right there. And then once I look at it, I'm thinking that's not going to be enough for my journaling, because this is the page where I'm going to do the history of New York City. So I'm going to need a little bit more space to do my journaling. So I'll figure that out here in a minute. And that strip of yellow paper is from the Amy Tangerine paper pad. There was a whole sheet that was cut apart, so I had cut that apart. And I had also printed the sheet from, I think it's Atlantic, it's called, the new collection from Studio Calico. And there was quite a few of the die cuts that I really liked, and it kind of went with this page. It just said, "Today was great." That was that circle. And right here, and then the other one is "Love this," and it was kind of a craft. And it really coordinated with this page quite well. And then I'm looking through my tags, and I found a yellow circle, and where the flare badge is round, the "Today was great" was round. I needed something else that was circular, so I took that round circle and I cut it in two, and I'm going to put it to the top right and the bottom right. And then this is where I decide where I'm going to put my journaling on. It's on a tag, and I'm going to stick it in behind the cluster of photo. And I just put a little piece of twine there. I'm kind of looking at those Pebbles clips to see if they would fit in, and I didn't find any colors that would. I was hoping there would be a brown one. And I looked at my Mind's Eye little stickers, and there was none that really went with this page. I'm going to be using my Mind's Eye decorative tape again, the yellow and gray, and I almost out of that chevron yellow washi tape. I really love it, and I've used it quite a bit. So now, just to make everything kind of coordinate together, I'm going to take my Cup of Joe ink from Hero Arts, and I'm going to ink up every piece of paper, my tag that I'm going to put my journaling on, my pattern paper, just to, so that everything kind of coordinates together. Once I get that done, I'm going to start gluing everything down. And I'm going to use my ATG tape. And I'm going to glue a strip at the top and at the bottom. And what I like about ATG tape, you don't have to load your papers with ATG, like one strip, and it really does the job. So now I find that tag is kind of bland, so I'm going to cut a smaller strip, probably about 1/4 of an inch, of that same paper that I got from American Craft, the paper pad, and it was just a sheet of die cuts that I used. And I'm just going to select a few of the words and glue it at the top and the bottom of the tag. And then, so I have a place to house that tag, I flipped the whole thing over with the tag there, and then I put my ATG down where I wanted it, and then glued the page down. And now I'm going to take my giant roll of foam tape and add it in behind the embellishments that I want to, kind of pop up. And then I'm going to put my washi tape before I forget, because lately I've always been forgetting and I have to rip stuff up and then put it down. So I was kind of glad that I thought of it before I had everything down this time. And then again, I'm reaching for that Smile washi tape, and I'm going to use it as a border at the top and the bottom of that cluster. And then I'm going to keep gluing everything down. And again, this page is going to be on New York City, and I've been doing sort of historical facts of everywhere that we went. And it was kind of fun that we should have done this before we actually went on the trip, but I've been doing it since we got home. Is every place that we went, I do a page, and when I do, I kind of write down everything historical about what we saw. So I'm finding that a lot of fun. So at this point, that arrow, you can kind of see through it. It came from a kit a few months ago, and I didn't want that, so I just glued it on that piece of die cut that I had used for the top and the bottom of the page, and I stuck it to the arrow and cut around it. Now, that camera was from a piece of pattern paper, and I decided to use it as a die cut sheet instead of pattern paper. So I colored in the heart in the lens of the camera, and then I wanted something with movement on the page, so I went to get my butterfly punch, and I'm punching butterflies out of that brown polka dot paper. And on the back side there's some yellow chevron, so I was using some of the yellow chevron too to kind of coordinate with the page, because the page is kind of brown and yellow. So now I decide on using those Amy Tangerine thickers, the Weekender, and then again those honey sticky keys. I really love those letters from October Afternoon, and I'm almost used the whole sheet. So as long as I can make titles with it, I will. And as soon as I can, I'm going to be ordering another sheet, because I really like them, and I'm going to order them in different colors. The reason I wasn't getting them, because I didn't think that I would use round or circular letters, but I really like it. So at this point, I decide to put glossy accent on the heart in the center of my camera. And then now I'm going to work on gluing down my title. And at one point you're going to see me count sort of the letters and kind of find my center letter. And then I kind of put my word park in the center of it all. And then I had chosen 2 wood veneer hearts, and they were just a little too big, so I went ahead and found 2 smaller ones. And then I'm going to glue down my butterflies. And the camera did die, so it's going to kind of end abruptly. But I did glue down those rhinestones that I colored with Copic marker. And then I found a stamp that I liked, and it was an Amy Tangerine, Ali Edwards stamp from Technique Tuesday. And it says, "I love this." And then it's a little camera that I stamped at the top of the tag. And so you're going to see it in my still pictures, but you're not going to actually see me do it. So now I'm gluing down the bottom cluster, and sorry I didn't lift up the page. And now I cut up some twine, and I'm using, someone asked me about the dot adhesive, and it is this to that from American Craft, and it's the dot adhesive. And I use it for my twine. And also when I photograph my layers, I need something that's, going to come off really easy. So I put it on the back of my layout. And then I have this board that I have, a blackboard, and I glue my page on that and take photos, and then it's easily removed. And you're going to see, this is where the camera kind of dies, but you'll see some close-up of the layout with the extra stamping. And I forgot, I don't know if because this is the second time I've recorded this, so I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is page 29 of 50. It took me 1 hour and 14 minutes, and it's page 3 for my March kit. So thanks for watching. Bye.